Gorillaz was created by Damon Albarn from the British boy band Blur and Jamie Hewlett, who created and illustrated the comic Tank Girl. The fictional band consists of singer and keyboardist 2D, bassist Murdoch Nichols, guitarist Noodle, and Russell on the drums. None of this really matters though. I really didn't need to say that, but whatever. Gorillaz is a huge blend of genres and styles with a huge array of collaborators. No two albums are alike, which is why I think they're so fun to compare. Today I'll be ranking all 8 Gorillaz albums, but I will not be counting G-sides, Like a Come Home, D-sides, or the Meanwhile EP. Why? Because I don't feel like it. Um, just a little warning, this script is like all over the place. Some parts are very long, some are pretty short. I don't know. This is just a weird video. Let's just get into it.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Unfortunately, I feel the fall has to be at the bottom, mainly because it's not really an album. It's more of just like a collections of songs Damon wrote during the Plastic Beach tour. It has some of Gorillaz' highest highs and lowest lows. Revolving Doors, Amarillo, and Little Pink Plastic Bags are all beautiful songs I absolutely love. Some of my favorites of all time, especially Revolving Doors. That's easily top 10 Gorillaz in my opinion. But there are a lot of forgettable nothing tracks that like leave a lot to be desired. Um, Seattle Yodel or whatever it's called. Also, I forgot to mention he did this all on an iPad in 2010. So with that in mind, it's very impressive. But it's just like it's a nice listen, but as like a Gorillaz album, it's not that great. I still do like it though, and yeah, I it could be better.
Your politics bore me.
I honestly thought Humans would be higher, but I just don't think it's that great of an album. There are a lot of great moments, no pun intended, but listening to it all the way through just doesn't leave me feeling much at all. The first 8 songs are all fantastic, those being Ascension, Strobe Light, Saturn's Bars, Moments, Submission, Charger, Andromeda, and Busted in Blue. I don't know why that I messed up on that set. Oh my gosh, what is happening to me? Then Carnival is pretty good, but it's not the most memorable song. Also, my dad said that he hated it, so I can't listen to it the same for some reason. I genuinely always forget that Let Me Out exists. I don't even remember that that was a song. I don't remember what it sounds like. I'm sure it's great. I'm pretty sure actually I like that song, but I don't know. Uh, and then there's Sex Murder Party, which is just stupid. I don't like that one. And then you have She's My Caller, definitely the best song on the album. Kali Uchis sounds so good here. She's one of my favorite artists, so having her here is just great. That's I think that was the first song from Humans I heard, but it's still definitely my favorite. Hallelujah Money is a great penultimate track for this album. I think I'm using that word right. It's so haunting. Benjamin Clementine truly shines here. It's great on the album, but I don't go out of my way to listen to it much because it's a heavy song. It's like very political, which is pretty cool. Like yeah, the whole album is political, but I feel like it could have dived into that theme more. That's a little off topic. We Got the Power is the worst album closer I've ever heard, and Gorillaz has ever done, and it's just the worst one I've heard in general. I don't even like talking about it. It makes me so mad. Like I get that it's satire, but it still completely undermines the message of the album. Like I feel like Humans deserved a crazy ending, like something like Do You Thing, really long, and specifically like the ending of Do You Thing. It's very haunting and passionate, not just some guy saying "I'm the for 8 minutes straight, but still something very like I don't know real. Humans is a very interesting and controversial album, and I feel like it could have been better if it wore its politics and on its sleeve. Like a lot of their old albums were political, like Plastic Beach, and I guess, and that's about the environment, which really shouldn't be political, but it is in Demon Days. But they were pretty subtle about it. But like Humans really isn't. But I feel like they could have gone even farther with it. But that's just me.
She made me kill myself. Come on.
Everyone knows the big three of Gorillaz albums: Debut, Demon Days, and Plastic Beach. The holy trinity of Gorillaz, if you will. Well, Gorillaz' debut album is kind of weird to me because I thought I really liked it, but every time I listen to it, I end up feeling bored. There are some amazing, legendary tracks like Clint Eastwood, 192000, Rock the House, 5-4, Rehash, and Tomorrow Comes Today. The rest of the album is really slow, and Damon sings way too high pitched on a lot of these. It's also just way too long. I completely understand why this album is so beloved. I just don't really vibe with it.
I have crippling depression.
I feel like the Now Now grows on me more and more every time I listen to it. I love that it's pretty much just a 2D solo album. It was written during the Human Store, if I remember correctly. Sound familiar? It's like The Fall if it was good. I'm kidding, The Fall is pretty good, but the Now Now is undeniably better. I think the Now Now is honestly really underrated. Like, I don't see many people talk about it much, aside from a couple tracks. It starts with Humility, which is honestly one of my favorite songs in general. I feel like I've overplayed it a bit, like I've listened to it too much. That doesn't mean it's bad at all. Then you have Trans, which is also amazing. It's just that one I've liked. It was one of the first Gorillaz songs I ever got into, outside of Clint Eastwood and Feel Good Inc. That was one of the first ones. Hollywood is weird because, in my opinion, it doesn't fit on the album at all. It ironically kills the vibe, like the lyrics say. I like the song. It would just be better on a different album. The rest of the songs are all amazing, though. The whole album is about isolation and loneliness, and almost all the songs perfectly represent that feeling. Some of my favorites that I haven't already mentioned are Kansas, Idaho, Fireflies, which is probably my favorite song on the album, and Sukai.
Shut up, cracker.
I feel that Cracker Island is extremely overhated. I see a lot of people call it bland trash pop, but I completely disagree. All the songs are really nice. It's definitely less emotional and story driven than their older albums, but that doesn't bother me at all. It's definitely not perfect though. One of the biggest complaints I see is that most of the collaborators don't get their own verses, and I completely agree with this. Not giving Stevie Nicks or Beck their own verse is baffling to me, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The album starts with the song Cracker Island. I think this is one of Gorillaz' best openers. It's so high energy and addicting to listen to. Thundercat sounds incredible here. He adds so much to the song. Then you have Oil with Stevie Nicks. It's one of my favorites off the album, but man, not giving her a full verse and having her just do backing vocals is incredibly disappointing. Other than that, it's a really nice song. The Tide Influencers is one of my favorite songs Gorillaz has ever made, and I'm probably the only person who has ever said that ever. It's really pretty and accurately represents how it feels being addicted to your phone without seeming cringy or out of touch. I love Damon's vocals here. They're genuinely beautiful. Not sure how I feel about Siri yapping in the background though. Silent Running is a great song. Damon did one of those genius interviews about this song, and obviously he explains it way better than I can. So just go watch that. I'm too dumb for this. New Gold is weird to me. It has all the elements to be an incredible song, but it just kind of falls flat. Having Tame Impala and Booty Brown on a song sounds like a match made in heaven, but it's honestly kind of mid. Like, Tame Impala is obviously legendary, and Booty Brown's verse on Dirty Harry is incredible. I think it's the best rap verse Gorillaz has ever had. So it's really disappointing that this isn't that good. But I still like it. It's catchy, but it's kind of grown on me less and less as I've listened to it. Baby Queen, Tarantula, and Tormenta are all really good. I like them a lot, especially Tarantula. I could say more about that song, but I don't feel like yapping for too long. Skinny Ape's one of my favorites on this record. I love that it's from 2D's perspective. I wish they did that more. Possession Island is a very undeserved ending. Cracker Island isn't very emotional like some of their other albums. I feel like it would have been better if it ended with a less emotional track and just something maybe more fun and lighthearted. Also, Beck is on this song, but you can barely hear him because he's completely reduced to just backing vocals. Luckily, we got him to sing on Valley of the Pagans, which is one of the best Gorillaz songs. I've said this about like 10 songs. Valley of the Pagans is really cool. I like this album way more than I probably should, but it's definitely not perfect. I feel like I have to defend it because no one else will. I'm in a store and I'm singing. Hey! There's no singing in the North Pole. Song Machine is just a bunch of great songs. There's absolutely no theme or story or even a similar vibe between the songs. Every track is incredibly different, and that's why I think it works so well. You somehow don't know every song on the album was released monthly with a music video accompanying it. It's a really cool way of releasing an album. I'm surprised more artists haven't done it. All the songs are fantastic. I won't go over all of them, but some of my favorites are Desolé, The Pink Phantom, Friday the 13th, and The Valley of the Pagans. I love y'all. I'm gonna go up on the look. Yeah. Plastic Beach is a masterpiece. I could end it there, but I'm obviously not gonna. This is gonna be one of the longest sections in the entire video. It starts with a beautiful orchestral intro and then goes into arguably Gorillaz' best album opener, that being Welcome to the World of the Plastic Beach. It features Snoop Dogg, and he was just perfect for this track. Then you have White Flag, which has grown on me the more I've listened to it. The instrumentals are really pretty, and I like the rapping a lot, but it's definitely not my favorite, but it's good. Rhinestone Eyes. Do I even need to say more? It's a perfect song in my opinion. When the instrumental fully comes in, it's just pure bliss. It is like it's amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. Honestly, don't think I can do this song justice. Just go listen to it and you'll understand what I mean. Stylo is very hype, and Bobby Womack absolutely kills it in the vocals department. It feels like you're driving down a highway. Gee, I wonder why. It's not like that's the entire music video. Superfast Jellyfish is just goofy. It's one of my personal faves. De La Soul sounds very silly here, but like in a good way. And then it transitions into arguably the best Gorillaz song of all time, that being Empire Ants. The first 2 minutes are so dreamy and pretty. Damon's vocals are beautiful here, but then it slowly transitions to this high energy instrumental with synths and awesome drums. It's amazing. And Little Dragon sounds so pretty here. Her voice is really cool. I might check out more of their music at some point. It's literally peak music. Like I don't. We've peaked. It's downhill from here. No one cares about Glitter Freeze. Some Kind of Nature is wonderfully awkward. Lou Reed sounds really good here. I love when him and Damon are singing together near the end. It's really nice. On Melancholy Hill is just another classic. There aren't many lyrics, but all of them are beautiful. My personal favorite is can't get what you want, but you can get me. Broken is just good. I like it a lot, but I don't really have much to say. It's just a good song. Sweepstakes is probably my least favorite on the album, other than Glitter Freeze. I just don't really vibe with it, but that's one of the reasons it's in second place. Plastic Beach has slowly become one of my favorite songs off the album. It just goes hard. I don't know how else to explain it. I love that weird effect on the chorus. You know which one I mean. I also like the little high pitched voice you can hear in the latter half of the song. I always imagine it as the little homunculus creature from Smiling Friends. I can't be the only one who hears that. Also, my dad loves this song. He asked me to play it a couple times. Similarly to Empire Ants, 2 Binge features Little Dragon. This song is definitely the most chill, vibey track on the album. My sister thinks it's creepy though, which sucks. Damon and Little Dragon's vocals contrast so well together. Cloud of Unknowing is pretty good. Features Bobby Womack. It's a nice song, but I don't go out of my way to listen to it. But when I'm listening through the album, which I do way more than I probably should, I do enjoy it. The album ends with Pirate Jet, and it's a short and sweet ending to one of my favorite albums of all time. Bustin' makes me feel good. Demon Days is Gorillaz' best album, like undoubtedly. It starts strong with Last Living Souls. The beginning honestly sounds somewhat silly, but then as the song goes on, they add some really beautiful strings. It's awesome. Kids with Guns is the first downright amazing song. has a killer bass line. It's just infectious. I absolutely adore it. Damon's vocals are very interesting here in a good way, though. This one has always been one of my favorites, even when I first listened to the album. Oh Green World is very weird, but in a good way. It's very post-apocalyptic. I love the and the beeps and the boops and that weird screaming crow sound. There aren't many lyrics, but the few that there are really stick with you. The hope, sex, drugs part was jaw dropping when I first read it. Dirty Harry was my favorite when I first listened to the album. The beginning is so groovy. I love that there's just a bunch of kids singing for some reason. Woody Brown's verse is absolutely incredible. Similar to the whole album, his verse is very anti war. I can't explain it properly. You just have to listen to it and take in the lyrics. It's incredible. Feel Good Inc. is Gorillaz' biggest song for a reason. It's just a great song. You thought Kids with Guns bassline was good? Feel Good Inc.'s is legendary. De La Soul's verse goes hard, and the windmill for the land part makes me imagine looking out a window while it's raining. And the little feel good is too iconic. I hear my dad singing that like all the time. El Mañana is peak. That first note gets me in my feels. The music video is really emotional as well. Every Planet Reaches Dead is a masterpiece. The beginning half is so beautiful and pretty, then it devolves in this wild cacophony of clashing instruments for like 2 minutes straight. It's slowly become one of my favorite tracks off the album. November Has Come has the late MF Doom on it, and he sounds great here. The chorus is great, I love it. All Alone has a great instrumental, and the ending is great. The girl at the end sounds amazing. I forget her name, sorry. It's one of the more forgettable songs in the album, but it's still amazing. White Light is very repetitive, but in the best way possible. He just yells, "White light, alcohol, alcohol," for like 2 minutes, but it's like the best thing ever. And the instrument is so cool for honestly no reason. And I find me coming back to this one way more than I probably should be. Dare is a classic. It kind of feels out of place, but I like the random suddenness of it. Sean Ryder's parts are iconic, and Noodle sounds great. The music video is just legendary. Everyone loves that video. Also, the live performances are something else.
Coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's there, it's there, it's there. What is that? What is that? Wait.
Fire coming out of the monkey's head is really nice. Dennis Hopper's dramatic reading is wonderful, and I love the little singing parts. It's very dark and sad, and just really like paints a picture of the story they're telling. Don't Get Lost in Heaven is one of my favorite songs ever. It's very short, but it's really pretty, and the lyrics really stuck with me. Demon Days is a really beautiful way to close the album. It feels so sad yet so uplifting. The way the instrumental slowly builds is genuinely incredible, and the choir sounds amazing. I can't end a better way to end such a perfect album. This is the peak of Gorillaz' discography, and I don't think they'll ever be able to top it.
7 a.m. waking up in the morning. Gotta wear socks, gotta move my arms. Gotta ingest some food, gotta eat food seen with my eyes, and clocks tell time.